Mr. Speaker. A $1 million money earner who scored graded stakes victories at 2, 3, and 4 years old, including the Grade 1 Belmont Derby. From the 6A female family of champion Personal Ensign, he's inbred 3x4 to Mr. Prospector, a similar pattern and the same cross as Tappet. America's #1 general sire for 3 years running. All this adds up to a world-class stallion at a world-class stallion farm.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at Pegasus World Cup contender True Timber. Our Pegasus World Cup coverage is presented by Lane's End, and True Timber is by a Lane's End mainstay. That is one of their best stallions, Mineshaft, who stands for a $20,000 stud fee at Lane's End in 2019. Let's talk about True Timber. This is a horse that a lot of folks are going to say is distance challenged. Mike, do you think 1 1/8 is just too far for this horse?
I personally do. I think it's pretty clear when you go through his PPs. He's just been a better horse going shorter basically throughout his career. It's a little bit surprising for him to have that sort of working against him because he's a Mineshaft out of a Tisnow mare, but he hasn't run his best races going longer. I think distance really works against this horse.
I think that's a fair point. He was very briefly on the Kentucky Derby trail in 2017. He ran some nice races at longer distances. But when trainer Kieran McLaughlin returned him to the races in the beginning of 2018, he concentrated solely on one-turn races, and True Timber turned the corner. Here's his most recent start, the Cigar Mile, at a one-turn mile at Aqueduct. He's coming on the outside. He just can't get to pattern recognition, who might have had the best part of the pace being on the lead that day. True Timber gave a good solid performance at 31-1. He ran his career best Beyer speed figure, but he's going to have to face pattern recognition. Horses have to stay the extra 8th.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think, obviously you like to come into a race like the Pegasus World Cup off of a career best effort. I thought he ran well in the Cigar Mile, Dan. He was a big price. I thought the trip worked out for him. It was interesting to see that replay where Joe Bravo took him clear in the upper stretch. Like, he had a shot at that race, I thought. He was just sort of grinding at the end. You could see it, slowly maybe making ground, but he was never catching pedigree recognition there. It was a good effort, but it's not an effort that it makes me feel like he's a huge contender or has a real chance to run another really good race in the Pegasus World Cup.
He's also a horse that likes to be forwardly placed, and that might work against him as he's going to likely be chasing horses like Pattern Recognition, like City of Light, Accelerate, and Tom's D'Etat. Well, there are no slow pokes out of the gate either. True Timber might be part of a crowded first or second flight. He's going to be a gigantic price, but facing pace pressure at this long distance, it might really work against him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot working against this horse. I think all those things that you mentioned are true. It just makes it a really tall order for him. Again, I like, when you have a really good trainer like Kieran McLaughlin pointing for a race like this off of a good effort. I mean, those things are good signs for this horse. He just happens to, have a lot of things working against him in this race.
True Timber's going to be a long shot, but he's coming off his career best Beyer speed figure. He is by Lane's End Stallion Mineshaft. Usually those horses want distance. That's going to be a major test for True Timber. A big price expected for him in the Pegasus World Cup, and our coverage presented by Lane's End.